Hey there.
Bienvenidos, comrades and compañeros.
Hello, I'm American Johnson.
I'm Medea Ray, the Timid Femme.
Hi there, this is Breadbeard with Softboy Social Club, and welcome to Part 2 of Build Your Own Channel Playset. If you haven't seen Part 1, you can find a link to it in the description. If you're watching this on a channel other than mine, you're probably wondering why some guy talking over a picture of a kid is squatting in your favorite Lefties channel. Now that's because this volume is all about building community. And what better way to do a communism than to work together on a video teaching you how to work together. In the first video, I talked about how to quit procrastinating and start making content for your own YouTube channel. Now that you've finally taken the plunge and made a channel, where do you go from there? Well, we're here with 5 helpful tips on how to work in the community to support yourself and others.
Greetings, breadlings. I'm YouTube sensation of the left, American Johnson, here to share with you some of the secrets of my wild success. Do what I tell you and study the social blade, and you too may climb to the heights of algorithmic wonder. So basically what I was going to say is you should work together. Find comrades who share your views and values and make stuff with them. You know, do streams together, share scripts around and give each other feedback on scripts before you shoot, and do collaborations a lot, because the more you work with other YouTubers, the more you can kind of share each other's audiences, share viewers around between each other. And that was really, really important for me early on when I was first starting my channel. I actually was going it alone for several months just because I didn't know of any other leftist YouTubers when I was first starting out. And it really wasn't until I started finding a community of people to work with and share ideas with that my channel really started to grow. And it grew quickly once I started to collaborate and work with other people. The most important thing about the left is not to compete with other leftists. So YouTube, you know, and all of their materials, their workshop videos and stuff that try to tell you how to be a good, successful YouTuber, they want you to think of your YouTube channel as like your little business, and YouTube is a market, and you want to like compete and push other people down so you can push yourself up. And of course, you know, the algorithm favors stuff like drama and takedown videos, but I really don't think that that serves the left, and it doesn't serve our movement well at all. I think that mutual aid is the core principle that should guide our activity as creators on LeftTube. There's a whole lot else to say about this stuff, but I think in a nutshell, one of the most important things is to work with other leftists, support other leftists, and if you go out of your way to help other leftists, if you go out of your way to promote other content creators, that stuff will just naturally reciprocate. You get out of this game what you put into it in terms of mutual aid. I really believe that's true. And if you become, known amongst your peers as somebody who is there to help when help is needed, as you're able, of course, you know, we're all pressed for time. But if you can kind of establish a reputation as somebody who wants to collaborate, who wants to work with other people, who likes to go in and live stream with other people, you'll start to build a little reputation. But the most important thing is to not worry. I guess my parting thought would be, don't worry too much about algorithmic success or getting a ton of viewers. Growth on YouTube, especially in the early stages, it can be very, very slow. So I would say don't use growth as your main metrics for success early on. I would say try to get other things out of the experience of becoming a leftist YouTuber. So you'll probably be a lot more satisfied and happy if, instead of going into it with the goal of like, oh, I want to get 1,000 subscribers within a few months or whatever, go into it and say like, I want to make some relationships. I want to meet some real comrades. I want to share ideas with people. I want to learn from other people. And use that as your metric for success early on, and the growth will come. It really will. But don't focus on that too much. And the other thing is, people can kind of tell if you're going into it and you just want to grow and you're just treating this as like a business. That's going to turn off leftists. We're not looking for those kinds of creators. We're looking for people who have good ideas. We're looking for people who care, and we're looking for people who are authentic. So go in, be your authentic self, and just try to have fun. That should be the main motivating factor. Don't go into leftist YouTube to make money. It's the worst business plan you can imagine. I am a former dirty capitalist, and I can tell you there are much better ways to make money on YouTube if that's your primary interest. If you want to build a business on YouTube, if you want to be self-employed and use YouTube as a career, that's great, and it's definitely achievable. But leftist YouTube videos are not the way to go if your main motivation is, getting ad revenue and that sort of thing, because the algorithm is going to punish you for being a leftist. The algorithm buries our content. And then, leftists tend to be working class people that don't have a lot of expendable income. So don't focus too much on the numbers. Don't focus too much on the money early on. Focus on being a comrade and building, a platform that you can use to share the work of others. And then when you finally do get to the place where you have a lot of numbers and you can help other people by signal boosting, that sort of thing, that's like the greatest feeling. And that's what, at this point today, where I have over 60,000 subscribers, that's what I love the most, is being able to help smaller creators and just be a part of this community. So that's probably my key piece of advice and information. And I wish you the best of luck on the cybernetic space that is Breadtube. Godspeed, comrades.
So originally I planned to do a section on tech stuff needed to get started, but to be honest, there's some other guys who've already said it better. Check the description for a link to Thought Slime's intergaging video on getting started. And while equipment and software are necessities, here are some things that are far more important. 1. Content. 2. Content. C. Content. And 4. Cat videos. So, what is a content? If you saw part 1 of this video, maybe you sat down and started writing long analyses dissecting Marxist theory and leftist discourse, and found yourself so disheartened in your own writing that you decided your time was better spent doing another full catalog marathon of Adventure Time. Well, guess what? That's totally fine. Do a video on Adventure Time from a leftist perspective. You don't have to create content specifically to a leftist audience. As a matter of fact, I'd say it's much more effective to not make your content with leftists specifically in mind. When you decided to start making videos, most likely it was because you wanted to spread leftist ideas in order to combat the capitalist media already bombarding the public. But is a deep dive into which kind of lunchbox Kropotkin used really gonna grab the interest of potential viewers outside of already far leftists? Also, everyone knows it was the Ninja Turtles one with Shredder Hulk on it. So what can you make your content about? Whatever interests you already have. Do you like comics or movies? Talk about superheroes with story arcs that involve class struggle and anti-fascism. One of my favorite videos on the tubes is Curio's Spider-Man, a hero with bills to pay, which doesn't even present itself specifically as a communist piece, yet is still crammed full of leftist ideas.
And throughout the film, Tony Stark's wealth and the way he throws his power around are very explicitly harmful to poorer characters and communities. And honestly, is Iron Man the bad guy in this movie?
Do you like gaming? Oh boy, do you have a huge audience to tap. You can do breakdowns about how games have suffered due to capitalist influences, or do gaming streams for the general public, but talk about issues important to you as you play. Cords knows there's plenty of alt-right asshats using the medium to draw people into their side. Start using your love of games to take it back. Are you good at cooking? Or maybe you suck at it, but you still enjoy scorching stuff? Then make a cooking channel and talk about leftist values while you teach people how to stop destroying their souffle or something. Talk about how it sucks that actually getting nutritious ingredients has become increasingly difficult for the working class.
Pour in some soy sauce to add a bit of umami flavor, and make sure to cringe a bit when you use words like umami that are probably worth more linguistically than what we make in a day.
Maybe you're a makeup whiz. Do makeup tutorials while chatting away about sexist beauty standards due to capitalist marketing.
Okay for us to have our tools of anti-fascism here as such, but they're all based on oppression of people in the global south.
Breadtube is tiny compared to other genres on the platform, and that's by design. The YouTube algorithm isn't your friend. It rewards easily consumed fun ideas with higher visibility and video monetization. Arguably the most successful Breadtuber, ContraPoints, has about 740,000 subscribers, while a channel based on taking things out of boxes has over 15 million. But you can use these other genres to your advantage. not only to work against the algorithm, but to grab the interest of potential leftists that aren't aware of their own struggles. This medium is, in one way or another, for propaganda. You can either let the capitalists push their ideas, or you can break into their realms and start seizing the power back.
Well, hello there. I was just sitting here by some fire, which is something that we as a society have decided is a comforting activity. I have a book. It's called A History of Great YouTube Comments by Jurgert Jan YouTube, the founder of YouTube. Every page is blank. If you're a LEFTtuber, commenting on other people's videos is pretty important. It shows solidarity with the community and it helps get your name out there. Not every comment you make is going to get noticed, but the more places people see your brand, the faster they'll start to consider you part of this community. You'll have a lot more luck getting people to check out your videos when they recognize your screen name. Leaving comments is also a chance for you to connect with the creator. While the bigger channels might not have time to read or remember every comment they receive, the newer creators, people like you and me, are usually interested in all feedback. These people are kind of like your coworkers now, and commenting on their videos helps build a relationship. And with that in mind, it's important to think about what makes a good comment. There's a trend in LeftTube right now of leaving comments for the algorithm. While it's great that people want to support creators in whatever way they can, these comments aren't really doing that much. Google is always rolling out updates that are designed to stop people from gaming the system. The YouTube algorithm may be a mysterious, intangible beast that no one really understands, but it won't be long before Google finds a way to devalue for the algorithm comments, if they haven't already. Additionally, if someone outside of leftist circles finds the video and sees a bunch of algorithm comments, they'll probably think that this is nothing but a bunch of commies patting themselves on the back and leave. Even just writing, "I like this" or "great job" is going to do more good for the video and the creator. But if you're someone who's trying to get noticed, you're going to have to do a little better than that. Think about the kind of feedback you'd like to get on your own work and apply that to the comments you make. Tell them a bit about what you got from their work and why you liked it. It's nerve-wracking to put yourself out there in a video. Getting positive reinforcement, especially in the early days, is really encouraging. There might even be times when your comment gets a heart from the creator, in which case you need to stop what you're doing, screen cap it, and email it to your ex with the caption, "Fuck you, somebody does love me." Then get on Facebook and change your relationship status from single to "it's complicated." And brace yourself for what is sure to be the most epic high five of your life with your therapist, who's going to be so stoked about all the money they're about to make. Additionally, you can use your comment to help other viewers stick through the video. Have you ever been bored during a video and scrolled down to the comments to see what other people think about it? Of course you have. Everybody has. If they're scrolling down and see a comment that mentions something interesting that occurs later in the video, it might encourage them to stick around. Towards the end of my body positivity video, I make a joke about Jordan Peterson that someone mentioned in the comments. I really appreciated that because now anyone who reads that comment might be inclined to stick through the video just to see what the joke was. The best part is, that one works whether they love or hate old JP. Curiosity is a strong pull. And if you can't think of anything you really want to say about the video, just stick with a simple compliment or words of encouragement. It'll still get your name out there and help the creator. Remember, we're all growing together. The more we work with and support other creators, the more overlap we'll get in our audiences. The big names in conservative media have tremendous amounts of wealth and resources. Individually, we don't stand much of a chance against them, but as a collective, we can reach a much wider and more diverse audience. It's worth your time to check out creators who have a different approach and style from you. They can reach people that you can't, and vice versa. So what are you waiting for? Every day is a gift, and there's no better way to make the most of it than by sitting at your desk and making YouTube comments.
Your safety is really important as a creator. You're accepting the role of public figure, and as you grow your channel, you'll gain more responsibility for influencing your following. This also means that you'll not only have fans who may cross the line of personal space, but you may have not so nice individuals who want to do you harm. This is the internet after all, aka the virtual fantasy Wild West, so here's some tips to keep you safe. My first piece of advice is that if you live in a precarious situation, where being recognized in public will get you hurt, fired, or generally in trouble, don't show your face. Use an avatar of some sort or wear a disguise. Also, don't use your real name. For the love of gods, don't use your first and last name at least. This gives a buffer between you and individuals seeking your personal information for fan purposes or doxing purposes. Regardless of whether you are showing your face or not, it's important to either delete your personal social media or make it private. For example, when I started making videos, I updated my privacy settings on Facebook to only show my friends' photos and posts so that friends of friends couldn't see these and lower the risk of someone unsavory finding my information. As a smaller public figure, the idea of keeping certain information private isn't a strong compulsion, so this helps should you accidentally let personal information slip or if someone finds your Facebook via your undisguised face. Another tip for you is not to overshare personal information. We all know not to hand out our usernames and passwords lest people use them, but we also should safeguard information that could lead to people finding out where you live or work. And lastly, for your own personal safety, remember that you're just a person on the internet and you owe no one your time.
Hola compañeros, I'm Kamazats, and my mission for coming onto Breadtube is to help all comrades move into direct action and towards our goals of true systemic change. What you have to know is that everything content creators on the left have been contributing so far has been leading up to this point. Whether they intended to do so or not, delivering the ideological rhetoric of leftism is only going to move those who have been listening, watching, and paying attention to want to do something. I want you to know that it is way easier than you may think. Let's start with our camaradas who can't do physical, real-world action like marches or rallies. After all, the revolution is meant for all members of the proletariat, even our friends who are disabled. So to them, I would like to say, first off, offering your time is super important. And it is the one thing, if you have a disability, you might have over your able-bodied compas. Things like phone zaps, propaganda creation, proofreading zines and speeches or articles, online channel moderators for various platforms like Discord, YouTube, or Twitch, clerical services, emotional support if you can handle it, research for counter-protests. All these types of things are necessary to allow others who want to be out in the streets to be able to do so. The work that must be done isn't all banner waving and sit-ins. It's the labor done beforehand and behind the scenes that sets the foundation for mobilized direct action. Now, for those comrades that have the means but are not in or close to large cities, where the, quote, action might be, you too can lend your services in the same way as I mentioned previously. If you can, however, get together some friends or family and start working on building a community-based operation, all you really need is 3 people you can trust and who share the same goals with. Give food to the homeless. Organize a charity event in your area. Set up meetings at the library or public park for people to meet up and discuss what issues they are really concerned about in the township, and try to gather more neighbors and or friends to join you in fixing these things, whether that be filling potholes or doing general maintenance for people's homes who can't do it themselves, like the elderly or disabled. Think outside the box. And always remember, when doing things in small communities or townships where being a communist might be dangerous, just talk about the general theory. Like, for example, I just think we can all do our part to make our community better for everyone that lives here. Rephrase leftist talking points into everyday speech as best you can, and slowly radicalize people through action instead of dry, droning theory. Now, for those of you who want to grab a megaphone and head out into the street, please offer your time and energy, if you can, in the same ways I mentioned earlier. I cannot stress enough how all these behind-the-scene things will enable you to do the work that you want to do. Not everything we do can be performative, and limiting yourself to only doing marches or checking the strength of department store glass will only get you so far. What I'm about to say, just like everything else I said, should be taken into consideration by all comrades. If it is something you can do, then do it. Facebook is usually where I start when I'm looking to network people to actions in their area. Find IWW chapters near your city. Go to any one of the numerous climate protests and meet with affiliate groups working together for the same cause. Once again, think outside the box. Direct action is all about creating victories for our side. I know you can do it. I believe in all of you. If you stumble or get lost along the way, ask for help. I personally am always available. Just DM me on Twitter or leave a comment on a video on my YouTube channel. If you are passionate and tired of all the bullshit, I will do all that I can to help you get the work that must be done finished. Remember, we are never alone. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. A people united can never be divided.
So there you have it. Get going and start building in your community, online and in the real world. The more of you that are vocal, the bigger the community gets. And that means more pie for all. Or something. Look, I'm not really good at charts. Or analogies. Thanks to all the creators who worked on this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to their channels, which you can find in the description. Also, remember to hit the notification bell, because YouTube doesn't assume that you want to see the videos of the channels you already subscribe to.